Hello and welcome to another Market Gauge Little Big View trades and tutorials video. If you're just finding us via YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can be sure to catch the next video as soon as it comes out. So before I get started, let me just make sure you know how to find us quickly and also you know how to get the video in HD. So first of all, if you're not already watching this on our website, the way you navigate to it from our website is go to Resources, Little Big View. That'll take you to a page that has this menu right here. We're at Trades and Tutorials. Shortcut is www.marketgauge.com/tutorials. Now, if you want to see the video in HD, once you start playing it, you will see a little settings icon right here. And if you click on that, you then have the option to select HD. And you will have to stop it or pause it and restart it. But when you do that, you'll see you'll be watching in HD. It's a lot clearer. I think you'll like it. Hope that helps. And let's get on with the video. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can quickly keep track of China to be able to identify the next huge trading opportunity there. And I'm sure there will be another one. And the reason that I'm focusing on China right now is because this week in particular, the Chinese FXI, and not just FXI, Chinese ETF FXI, which is the index, it tracks the index of 30 large cap Chinese stocks. As you can see from this daily chart, had an absolutely massive move. Now, we got, I would say, either lucky or good, depending on how you look at it, with our ETF country fund model. We entered FXI as it began to break out based on automated signals, but we had no idea this huge move was coming. And the reason I'm focusing, as I just said, on China right now is because this major breakout here, or this major move here, is potentially a result of some structural changes in China in terms of allowing more people to be able to access the Chinese markets. So when I say I think there will be more huge moves in the Chinese markets, it's because I think there's a real change going on there, and it's finally taking hold. That change and why and the mechanics behind that are not going to be the focus of this video, but I will do follow-up videos to focus more on China and how to profit from it. So again, if you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe if you're not already to however you're receiving this video. So you don't miss those as well. This video is going to focus on what I do when something like this happens. So in China, there's clearly a major movement going on that we can take advantage of. Now, most people probably just follow the FXI as their way of benchmarking or trading the Chinese markets, and that is a great first start. But as you saw from the beginning screenshot of this video, there are several other ways to do that. So these are all ETFs, and what I've done is done a little research on other ETFs that trade in China. And so if you want to know what those are specifically, they're right down here in the lower left-hand corner, and it's FXI, EWH, MCHI, ASHR, HAO, and CNXT. So why did I pick these particular ETFs? Well, here's a quick process you can go through really with any investment or trading concept. And I do this for sector moves, for theme related investment ideas. You can do this with different countries, but the idea here is that there's something going on in some particular market that follows a theme, and so you want to get somewhat of a diverse look at how you might trade it, as well as a focused look. So these are all Chinese stocks. I put all these Chinese ETFs. I put all the ETFs into a percent change format chart. And in this case, I went back and I looked at it over the past year. Now, the reason I picked the past year is because in November, October, there was what I'm referring to as some kind of structural change that changed the way individuals in China and also I believe institutions could purchase or participate in different markets. So I wanted to go back past November. The interesting part about this week's huge move across almost all of these ETFs is there was really only a slight change in the last week that seems to have precipitated this. The ability to do what happened this week really should have happened back in November. Now, in this case, you can see this index really took off in November. I'm getting ahead of myself, however. I create this percentage change chart. There are a lot more ETFs than the ones that I'm currently looking at, and a lot of them are duplicative. So what I did was boiled down the ETFs. I looked for preferably the ETFs with higher average volume. And I wanted to find a group of ETFs that weren't totally correlated. Now, I could do this with math and have a more pristine way of doing it, but the shortcut is just put them on a percentage change chart. And while they may flow in similar directions, there's definitely a wide disparity between these in terms of performance. So now I have a nice basket of 5 or 6 Chinese ETFs that are going to provide different opportunities moving forward because they're tracking different parts of the Chinese markets. I'll get into what those differences are perhaps in a future video, but from a trading perspective, if you're just following the price and volume action, this is all you need to get started. All right, so here's a cool thing about TradeStation. This percent change chart is just a function, and I suspect a lot of other platforms can do the same thing. But one thing I just recently discovered about TradeStation is I can put my mouse. So this percent change chart starts a year ago and represents the straight percent price change of the different ETFs over the past year. So this one here happens to be up 94%, and this one here happens to be up 14%, the yellow one. FXI I have represented by the orange, and you can see FXI falls right in the middle. Now, if I want to see how they've performed starting at, say, the new year, I can kind of right click on my chart and do percent change chart and calculate from this bar. So now I can see how they've performed since the beginning of the year. All right, so it starts over here. You can see how they came into that beginning of the year, and you can see from the beginning of the year, there's been a wide variation of performance. So investing in China is not as straightforward as just FXI. You can make it that way for sure, but there's a lot of other opportunities. And with this huge move higher, the pullbacks are going to be another huge potential opportunity. And so rather than just focus on FXI, I'm going to focus on these 6 as they pull back. All right, so that's the percent change chart. And the other thing that's interesting about the differences in these charts is that they weren't all set up the same way. Now the percent change chart shows you that as well, but let's just take a look at the weekly chart. So I'm going to shift my time frame to be weekly on all of these charts. Okay, so weekly, weekly. And this is another reason why following more than one makes sense. So let's just start with FXI. Now I was really focused on FXI and have been for quite some time. But if you look at the general chart pattern for FXI there, and the general chart pattern for the EWH, which is Hong Kong focused, over the same time frame, here's just a basic idea of what I mean. So when this started to break out here, it still had all this potential resistance. The EWH, however, had already really broken out much higher, and breaking out here, there's no resistance over here to the left. So you see what I mean? And if we take a look at a completely different ETF, now this only goes back to 2013. So actually, let's take a look at HAO. So this, again, totally different looking chart. FXI has broken out over its 2011 high. HAO just getting back up to its 2011 high. Another big difference, all right, if we just take ASHR here, had a huge move up into 2015. FXI, it moved up a little, but not the same extent and not the same looking chart at all, right? So that's why I'm going to look at these different charts going forward. What am I going to look for? Well, the moving averages that you see on these charts, and let's go back to the dailies now. So now we're all dailies. I'm going to look for pullbacks to the 10-day moving average, which is the green at first. Now, in the case of FXI, that may take a while, okay? But this is a particular pattern that I'll look for, either consolidation or pullback towards the 10 and patterns there. It's going to take a while in FXI, but ASHR, as I already pointed out, is a completely different looking pattern, and a pullback down to below the 10-day moving average could offer another great opportunity. This one even has the opportunity over the next several weeks or short months to come back to the 50. So there's going to be different opportunities at different times, but as I started this video by saying, this is how you can easily follow what's going on in an area of the world, in this case China, which this week, this huge move up, unfortunately, I wasn't focused on these other indexes prior to this move up. Had I been, the breakout in FXI and all these other ones would have been much more compelling without our automated system, which told us to do it anyway. But you can't catch them all, but you can, after you see a dynamic move like this, set up a workspace and just be vigilant. This is something you can check out, once a week, every so often, and you'll be able to find excellent opportunities going forward. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you want to leave any comments, suggestions, please do right below this video if you're on the site that enables you to do that. Thanks again, and best wishes for your trading.